Oh, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Okanagan Gardener and Forager channel. If you ask me, based on flavor and some of the nutritional value, blackberries are pretty hard to beat, but they are also very thorny, so be careful around them. But here's some right here, and these ones are Himalayan blackberry. Himalayan blackberries are an introduced species from Eurasia, introduced into this area in BC in North America about in the late 1800s, and they can form thickets that can be, I've embedded myself within one a little bit here, that can really take over an area, and they form like a really deep root system. So once they get established, they can be pretty difficult to control and eradicate if you wanted to. But they are a member of the Rubus family, related to raspberries, so they are edible and delicious, pretty nutritious, and they also have some medicinal uses that are similar to other members of the raspberry family. Himalayan blackberry, scientific name is Rubus armeniacus. They grow on stems that are hairless, and they have ridges on them. I'm not sure if you can see. They have 5 ridges, so if you were to cut it and look at it in cross section, it'd look like a pentagon, I guess. Pentagon shaped, five-sided. Oh look, can you see the little raspberry? Ladybug crawling along. Anyway, on the vegetative shoots, they have 5 leaves, and they're palmately shaped, so you can sort of think it kind of maybe looks like a hand shape. I don't know. The edges are toothed, and the top side is green, bottom side is white. And I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see the spines, yes, on the midvein, underside of the midvein. So on the vegetative shoot, when it's not flowering or fruiting, it has 5 leaves typically, but on one that's fruiting, then they have 3. See this one, fruit, 3. And I can't remember if I just said it or not, but look for green on the top side, and the bottom side of the leaf is very white, with spines on the midvein, and they are sharp. Youch. Blackberries, of course, are edible, and they're pretty nutritious. High in vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin K, manganese, and more, and a really good source of antioxidants. And traditionally, they were gathered in large quantities by indigenous groups and eaten raw, or also mixed with oils and meats and stored for long term, and also dried to be stored for long term. And they are, of course, grown commercially a lot in a lot of places now, and for eating raw or preserving, making jam, jellies, syrups, all kinds of things. And they're just, if you haven't had blackberries, like, they're delicious, of course. Delicious and nutritious. Himalayan blackberries have some medicinal uses. The leaf tea has been used for things like sore throat, mouth sores, bleeding gums, dysentery, cholera, used to treat things like dysentery, cholera, and excessive menstruation. And roots to make a tea or decoction could also be used for the same. And the root and leaf tea has also been used for things like diarrhea, but well, I'll say I'm not a doctor and this is not medical advice, but perhaps if somebody had diarrhea, there could be some other issue going on, and so it might be a good idea to let diarrhea, clear things out sometimes. But anyway, if you wanted to stop diarrhea, blackberry tea has been used for that. And one thing I'll say is a bit of a warning about blackberry leaf tea, similar to raspberry leaf tea, is that you could use the leaves that are fresh, or you can use the leaves that are dry. Don't use wilted leaves, because the wilted leaves can be toxic. Also, prolonged use can irritate the stomach and bowels. This wasp knows that blackberries are delicious. So, you can find blackberries, Himalayan blackberries, in southern BC, and it likes to grow in places like disturbed areas or abandoned farms, roadside ditches, those sorts of things at low elevations. And you can find it from BC to California. And it is introduced and can really like take off, overload areas or take over areas. So, you know, don't feel too bad about harvesting it quite a bit. And there was some time ago, one of my first videos that I made, I actually talked about, well, I covered Himalayan blackberries, but I thought they were Pacific trailing blackberries, so they weren't. Anyways, you can check out that video if you want. I'll link to it. It's one of my older ones, so it's sometimes when I watch older videos, I get a little like, it's like, I feel kind of weird watching something I made a couple years ago. Anyway, that's about it for blackberries for now. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.